Greetings from the far side of the galaxy, I'm Fury, your host the most, back with the other half of this video. Hint hint, to watch the first half, and know that I'm not ranking these units in any specific order. Like and subscribe, yada yada yada. Now let's get started with number 5, Christmas Yasuyori.
Damn boy, he's thick!
This unit is very similar to Valentine's Arc in that they both charge their attack and then do their best to make sure it kills. When Yasuyori appears, he gives himself 50 to 100 CP, meaning there's a pretty good chance he'll instantly get his charge skill right at the beginning of the fight. And his CS even gives him adamantine when he has adamantine strengthening, nearly doubling his attack after he blows his load. He also gives great buffs to all allies in a circle when he moves, but he also gives himself CS lock if he does move. While that may seem like a downside, it does come in handy if you want to save his CS for a problem. It's the options Yasuyori gives that make him so fun. It can be a great accessory to a team, applying defensive buffs, but when things get rough, you can have him just blast the enemy away. It's a lot of fun, if a little one note, but thankfully Yasuyori's strategy is his own thing. If you ever get bored of Yasuyori, you can just build a more interesting team around him until you need a cannon. He's a great way to make some of your more, mediocre teams survive the end of a fight. Jumping from one holiday to another, let's go with number 4, Halloween Azathoth.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
You know how Licho turns enemy units into blow type? Well, Azathoth does something similar, but actually specializes in it. At phase start, he turns every enemy into long slash, basically dismantling whatever composition they had. From there, you basically play slappers with the enemy. He hits them, they die. They hit him, he gets attack up, brawn, and regen. That's on top of getting a slight attack up and even removing a debuff to himself for good measure. He's a great unit for long drawn out fights like high difficulty quests or bosses. Dude's even immune to bind, skill lock, and double lock just to make sure he can actually get hit. It's more fun than it should be putting Azathoth on the front line and then watching him 5-head his way through battle. I recommend you pair him with support units to keep him alive because he is getting the absolute mess beaten out of him every turn. Let's move on from the devil to the person nicknamed Hell's Bitch, seriously that's a thing, look at our research file, with number 3, Hecate.
Damn boy, he's thick!
No, wait, I already used that. Anyways, Hecate's main gimmick centers around crit plus, however, she doesn't exactly give it. She gives grant crit plus after debuff at 80%. Why she doesn't just have give allies crit plus at 80%, I don't know. Either way, that weird buff will almost always proc because Hecate also poisons her allies. That's not all though, she gives them fatal poison and burn on top of that regular poison. It's kind of fun just throwing Hecate behind someone and then hoping for the best. It means she doesn't work very well on long quests because eventually your allies are just going to die. Either from the fatal poison or the enemies, probably both to be honest. When I use Hecate, I tend to pair her up with Kalki. That's because he gets infinite range when debuffed, and while that would usually push down his DPS, the crit plus really does come in handy. Moving on from one girl boss to the next, we have number 2, Summer Arachne.
Oh my... Maybe I could work a little more.
Fun fact, that's literally a clip from the Housamo Heroes video. I couldn't be bothered to make it again from scratch. To be honest, Arachne sucks. She focuses on skills that move the enemy, and those are quite frankly not very good. What makes Arachne fun is that her skills quite literally have two sides. That means Arachne applies attack up to any ally on her left and defense up to any ally on her right. More interestingly, she pulls in enemies at her upper right and pushes away enemies in the upper left. If you organize your team right, putting ranged and close units where they need to be, Arachne can work freakishly well. If you feel like playing it a bit more loosey-goosey, you can constantly move Arachne to attract and push away enemies as needed. Team building for a strategy like that is a nightmare though. One of my more insane team comps is made entirely of units that move enemies en masse. It's pure chaos that's honestly not very good, but hey, it's fun. Now, before we hit number 1, it's time for some honorable mentions. Our first honorable mention is Pool Party Oz in Technically Zoe. Literally the best unit in the game, and being able to make nukes is very fun, but these lists would be too similar if I always put him at the top. Nightglow's Kurogane is almost able to solo any 6x3 stage, which is very fun, but he only has like one game plan. His gimmick gets pretty old very quickly, so he's best for farming and not having fun. Licho could have been on this list, but I already included a unit with a similar gimmick. Another unit in the same boat is Valentine's Kengo, since him and Azathoth are both slow start units. Kirito is another fun one with the way he darts in and out of danger. There's also Fushi, but I have no idea how it works, let alone how to make it work. Now finally, number 1 is Rafael.
I need to stop playing Wii Sports, but I don't want to.
Israfil is the first unit I remember looking at their kit and thinking, that's weird. Israfil has horizontal movement boost by 2, meaning he can travel the length of most stages, even the wide ones. And his kit is insane. He removes a buff and applies stigma on move and steals HP and CP from those he hits. However, he loses the ability to move for 2 turns after moving, so he's locked into whatever spot you leave him. And you better be damn sure he isn't in the path of pain, because he also applies weakness to himself before being hit. This makes him a glass nuke. He can very easily turn the tide of an entire battle, but if anything thinks about him too hard, he just falls over and dies. Honestly, he seems kind of like a prototype for the Mugans. Units with insanely good offense in exchange for having a really weird movement gimmick. I hope Life Hunters keeps doing more stuff like this, because I can't say that I hate it. That may be the end of the top 10, but it's not the end of the video, because we still have our Patreon shoutouts. For our 3 stars, we have special thanks to 87 Werehog, Deku, Zora Rachao, Choron, Girion Lefay, Dragon King Yara, and Kayun. For 4 stars, we have Miki Moon and Unknown RC, the evil twins. For Super D-Tuber special 5-star shoutouts, we have... First, we have Vanilla Flower, the Dragon Overlord of the Dark World. Then, Poor Mage, the Dagger for Hire. Next, Sky King 64, the Dramaturge of Despia. Finally, Mahagasaur, the Noble Knight. Thank you for watching, and as always, this is Rose Fury signing out.